I haven't done a pork butt in a while, so tomorrow that's what I'm going to be doing, but today we're going to be getting it rubbed up. We're also going to be making a terrific barbecue sauce to go with it. So we're going to get our rub ready, and it's going to be a cocoa lime rub. First ingredient is 1 tablespoon of kosher salt, 1 tablespoon of black pepper, 1 tablespoon of granulated garlic, 1 tablespoon of smoked paprika, 1 tablespoon of unsweetened cocoa powder. This is the kind of cocoa powder you might use in baking. 1 teaspoon of chili powder, and 2 tablespoons of Tajin. Tajin is a chili lime seasoning. It's a Mexican seasoning, really good. Get in here, mix this up. That's looking good. Let's get our pork butt out here. So this is a 7-pound boneless pork butt. You can see here that the bone's been removed. We're just going to get this seasoned up. Now there's plenty of surface moisture for me. I don't need to put a binder. If you want to put a binder, go ahead. You can see how this opens up here because the bone's been removed. Might as well get a little seasoning in there. We are going to try and keep it closed up during smoking though. You can always tie this up if you want, but I find if you just kind of let it sit there, it's going to be fine. All right, that is looking good and it is smelling great already. We're going to get this in the refrigerator. It's going to soak in these flavors overnight, and we're going to move on to making our barbecue sauce for tomorrow. So our barbecue sauce is going to be a bacon chipotle barbecue sauce. We're starting with 40 ounces of ketchup. To this, I'm going to add half a cup of apple cider vinegar. Next up, half a cup of brown sugar, about 2 tablespoons of yellow mustard, 8 ounces of molasses, 1 teaspoon of granulated garlic, 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, 1 teaspoon of ground black pepper, and 1 chipotle chili pepper that I've diced up. This is in the adobo sauce. And now for our bacon. I have 6 pieces of bacon that I've fried up, and I'm just going to break them up in here. So you do want them sort of crumbly and crispy. Now I'm going to bring this up to a simmer, and it's going to simmer for 20 to 30 minutes, and I've got it on my induction burner out here just so it's easier to see. Go ahead and give this a stir to get everything mixed. Just starting to get our first bubbles here. And you want to give this a stir every 5 minutes. You don't want the heat too high because you don't want to burn those sugars in there. Quick little tip, the ketchup that you put in here probably came in some ketchup bottles. If you rinse those bottles out and save them, you can use those to put your barbecue sauce in for service. Now it'll keep for a few days in the refrigerator. I usually use it up fairly quickly, but I just take the bottles, put a big X on the label so I know it's not ketchup. Easy way to use this barbecue sauce. If you like your sauce smokier or hotter, you can put more of those chipotles in there, but I want to keep the heat mild here, just a little bit from that pepper. All right, I'm gonna let this simmer for probably 20 minutes and we'll come back and check it, see if it's ready. All right, we've been going 20 minutes. Let's get a little taste. To me, that has just enough kick from that chipotle. Again, if you want more, you can add more. You can make it spicier. In fact, this is that kind of sauce. You can add anything you want to it. You can add hot sauce to it, really make it your own. But really for me, this is that bacon chipotle barbecue sauce. And it is tasting terrific. So I'm going to turn this off, take it off the heat, let it cool down. Then I'm going to go ahead and put it in those repurposed ketchup bottles. Anything that's left over can go in another container. And tomorrow, this is going to be great on our pulled pork sandwiches. All right, the Lone Star Grills is up to temp on this cold and damp and gray day here, but we're gonna brighten it up with some great food. I've got water in the cook chamber and I'm burning hickory. So let's go ahead and get this pork butt on. Now I normally do things fat side down like this pork butt, but I'm gonna do fat side up today because we have this sort of open flap here where the bone was. I want this to sit like this rather than open. All right, let's get this closed up and get smoking. We're gonna come back in about an hour and check it. I'm not running a temp probe until we wrap it. We're just gonna keep an eye on it, check for moisture, spritz it if we need to. But for now, we're just gonna let this bathe in that hickory smoke. See you back here in about an hour. All right, we've been going for 1 hour. The temp's been holding really steady right around that 250. I've added one more split of hickory. That's what I find after the initial setup and get a couple splits burning to build that coal bed. It burns about one of those short splits, because I have them cut short, about 10 inches, every 45 minutes to an hour. So it's a really efficient cooker. But let's see how our pork butt's doing and if we need to spritz. Looking really good, but we are looking a little dry here. So I do want to spritz, and I'm just using plain water for my spritz. I like to do that. I'm just adding moisture. I'm not trying to add another layer of flavor. I've done it both ways, and honestly, I prefer water almost all the time. So let's get this closed up, and we'll come back in another hour, check it again, see how it's looking. I think we're probably going to wrap around the 3-hour mark based upon how it's looking now. Could be earlier. We'll check it at 2 and see how it's doing. See you back here in a little bit. All right, we are at the 2-hour mark. Temp's been holding really steady. Let's go ahead and check our pork butt. That is developing really nice color, but I can see, again, we do need to spritz. And it is developing nicely, but I think I want to let it go, like I said, to that 3-hour mark here before we wrap it. It could even take longer than that. This is all by looking at what the color and the texture is right now. And I want to give it at least that 1 more hour. So we're going to close this up, let this keep going. We'll come back and check at the 3-hour mark. All right, we are at the 3-hour mark. Once again, temp holding very steady right around 250. Let's go ahead and check our pork butt and see if it's time to wrap. That color is perfect for me. Yeah, this is ready to wrap, and I'm going to be wrapping it in a double layer of foil. A little bit of our spritzing liquid in here, just water. Get my temperature probe in here, and I want to get it down here at the same thick end. This is where that bone has been removed at this end. We're showing about 130 internal. That's not near the stall, but I'm going for color and texture. So we're going to get this closed up, and we're going to let it keep cooking until we hit 203 internal. That's my target for this today. So I'll see you back here when we hit that temp. All right, we just hit 203 internal. Let's go ahead and probe this for tenderness. That feels like butter. That is absolutely what I call probe tender. All right, I'm gonna get this off of here. It's gonna go in a foil pan covered with foil, and it's gonna rest inside for 2 hours, just sitting on my stovetop, no heat or anything. Just slowly coming down in temp and tenderizing some more. So I'll see you in a couple hours when it's time to pull this pork. So our pork has been resting for almost 2 hours now. We're gonna pull that in just a minute, but I wanna get a slaw made to go on our pulled pork sandwiches. First ingredient going in the bowl here is 3 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. We're gonna get the dressing done first and then put our ingredients in and mix it up. A tablespoon or so of spicy brown mustard, and about a tablespoon of that barbecue sauce we made. Just gonna mix this together. To this, I'm gonna add a bag of coleslaw mix. I'm also gonna add a mango that I sliced up and did a rough dice on. I'm just gonna get in here and mix everything together. I don't like my coleslaw soupy with the dressing, so if you wanna make more, you absolutely can, but I like to taste the ingredients and let the dressing sort of highlight those. Final ingredient is a half cup of crushed candied pecans. I just took some candied pecans that I bought at the store, put them in a bag, and got them going with a rolling pin. I like to add those last so that they're not kind of drenched in any dressing. I want some of that crunch in here from those. All right, let's get our pork butt out here and pull it. All right, here is our pork butt after its 2-hour rest and it's 6.5 hours out on the smoker. And one thing I did is in the foil pan, I saved the juices because this is great to add some moisture back if you have any dry areas. Let's go ahead and break this down. Oh yeah. Oh. That is nice and hot still and tender and juicy. I'm gonna cheat. To this, I'm gonna add about 1/2 cup of that bacon Chipotle barbecue sauce we made. Just wanna bring a little bit of that flavor to this first because we are definitely gonna sauce it with that barbecue sauce after we build the sandwich, but I like to get some in here in the pulling stage. All right, I am happy with that. Let's go ahead and build a pulled pork sandwich. So I have my toasted brioche bun here, and I'm gonna start with slaw. Now, do you like pulled pork and then slaw on top, or slaw on the bottom like this, or no slaw? Drop it in the comments, let me know what you like. I'm gonna get a nice, generous bit of our slaw here, and make a mess of my cutting board. But who cares? The cutting board police have the day off. Now some of our pulled pork. Luckily, the pulled pork police also have the day off, so we can put as much as we want. And no one can stop us. Now for some of our bacon Chipotle barbecue sauce. Put as much as you want. Finally, we crown it. And there we go. Our pulled pork sandwich with our mango slaw and our bacon Chipotle barbecue sauce. This is looking great. It's time to taste. I've got it on a plate here because I'm gonna make a mess. Here we go. Do I have any on my face? That pork is so tender, so juicy, and that barbecue sauce is killer. Everything here just goes well together. The pork, the sauce, the slaw. This is the kind of thing that is worth the time you put into it. 6.5 hours out there at the grill, 2-hour rest. Totally, totally worth it. I would do this again in a heartbeat.